Hey there, everybody. New studio, new intro. I'm just here to remind you guys before you listen to today's episode, make sure you follow the show and subscribe wherever you listen. If you watch the show on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there, you comment, you like, and you share. Also, follow my social media, all of it, both Instagrams, my Twitter, follow it all. Your life is to be consumed by my life. Tell everybody that you know about me. Start conversations with the fact that the Smoking Simian is your favorite podcast. Bombard everyone that you know and love with the Smoking Simian. Send them links day in and day out of my show, of the episodes, of my posts. Get thrown out of your house because the only thing that you care about is the Smoking Simian. Do it. Enjoy today's episode. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and good morning. My throat feels like there's a blockage somewhere in there. My body is exhausted, and my mind is all over the place. My skin is burnt. Not as bad as I was a few episodes ago. That one episode where I really just phoned it in. I just came on here and babbled. People will hear that episode and say, wow. If that was the first episode anyone's ever listened to, whatever that was, I think it was 210. Right? 210, something like that. They will be like, wow, this show sucks. This show's terrible. And it is. Now, before I get into anything else, I hope you guys can hear the monstrous truck that is outside of my house. There has been this area of New London must be just riddled with trash because this guy has been here since like 8 a.m. Just a loud trash truck. And this street isn't very big. This is a tiny street. I can't actually imagine how this garbage truck is even driving on this street. When I moved here, I was like, damn, a truck comes here and takes this trash? This is crazy. And then I didn't know that they actually just sit out there all day. They'll drive up and down the street. Like, I'm talking over it right now. That's why I'm kind of speaking loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I deliberately started the podcast while this was going on outside so you guys can understand that if Russia decides to nuke us, if China, if North Korea gets the technology, if these places decide to nuke us, please, God above, Satan below, and anything in fucking between, Vishnu, fucking Zeus, all these motherfuckers, use all of your powers to sway those countries into nuking this piece of shit town. Please, I am begging you, if those places all decided we're just going to nuke America in one spot, just in one spot, all we want to do is take out a town to scare them. Please, God, influence them that when they're using darts on that big map that they have on the wall to decide where they're going to go, please direct that dart right into New London, Connecticut. And if they say we need a state, if we want to level a state, turn a state into a parking lot for our fucking tanks and our jets and our fucking nuclear silos, please, God, let them pick Connecticut. Connecticut is the worst state, and New London is the worst fucking town I've ever had the displeasure of spending more than 30 minutes in. And now I have fucking until next April, I have to figure out a way to get out of not only this town, but this fucking miserable, broken down, economically dilapidated fucking state. That is the only focus that I have from here until next April is to find a way to either get the fuck out of this state or build an arsenal and a team big enough that'll be able to wipe out this entire fucking area. New London, Connecticut, I want you to be the death capital of this country. Every night I lay down in bed and I hear noise outside, I pray that there is a fucking a mass shooter outside just with a gun, lighting people up mercilessly in the street, pulling them from their cars, pulling them from their homes, throwing Molotov cocktails, not only in houses but at people, breaking their skin with the glass and then lighting them on fire. Put salt on the glass, salt the glass like it's a margarita. I mean, I hope to God that this place just goes up in flames. I wish Nero was the mayor of New London. Nero, remember Nero, the Roman emperor who let the city burn while he played the fiddle? I wish the mayor here would do that. I wish the mayor here would start a monstrous fire at the top of this town, wherever it starts, and let the coastal winds just blow it all up, and just fucking take out anything and everything in its path. Everybody, cars exploding, people in them, fucking businesses ruined. I would love if that would just happen in New London. There was a mass shooting on the 4th of July in Chicago. Chicago gets all the fun. Chicago, there's mass shootings anyway in Chicago. People are killing each other left and right because their mayor... Let's get Lori Lightfoot here. Lori Lightfoot is the mayor. For those of you who don't know, she's the mayor of Chicago. She's doing a terrible job. Terrible job. People don't get arrested. There was a gang shootout this was a story a while ago. There was a gang shootout between two rival gangs, I guess. And nobody got in trouble. Nobody got arrested. Nothing happened because it was gang related. It was some stupid loophole or whatever. Please bring someone like her. In fact, fuck it, bring her here. New London is a lot smaller. She'll ruin it far quicker than she would the great city of Chicago. But on the 4th of July, Chicago, I don't know what the name is, the area or whatever, they had a mass shooting. And what better way to ring in Independence Day, U.S. Independence Day, than a mass shooting at a 4th of July parade. That is... I mean, it's what I said in the last episode, right? Which, by the way, guys, I need to correct myself here. Something weird happened with the last episode, number 211. You guys who follow me on Instagram may recall that I was on... I put up a story that YouTube had taken down the episode. Now, I don't know how true that is, because when I looked this morning, it said that it wasn't downloaded or uploaded. However, I posted a... Oof, that's what happens when you smoke blunts with a bunch of strangers on a beach. I was able to post a story with the clip I usually do, and then with the link under the clip, like I always do, every Monday and Thursday. And I was able to post the clip. Then it was just gone. So how am I supposed to believe that I didn't download it? But when I opened my laptop up, it says it wasn't uploaded, downloaded, whatever the fuck. It wasn't on YouTube, which doesn't make sense because you can't access videos, even as the creator. You can't access the videos if they're not fully downloaded. It wouldn't even pop up. So, I don't know. I think YouTube's fucking with me a little bit. Which is a feather in my cap, because that means I get, 5 views an episode on here, on YouTube, you know? It's not like I have a reach and I'm influencing people to do this or to do that. But I guess if they did take my shit down, I must have said something. And last episode wasn't that bad, guys. It wasn't that bad. I mean, I just started this episode on a ruthless tirade of a small town in Connecticut. One that I chose to live in. You know? I mean, last episode, sure, I alluded to the fact that fireworks and barbecue aren't traditions anymore for the 4th of July, and people should kill each other instead, and it came true. You guys see that? That was the whole point of me bringing it up. I was saying that the new American pastime or the new way to celebrate the 4th of July. Those traditional methods, they're out. They're out, guys. They're done. In a few years, fireworks will be a dead industry, right? Except for really special occasions. There'll be no fireworks. Barbecue will be hard to come by, right? Good luck unless you're hunting yourself. If you're hunting yourself, that's fine. But if not, then you'll be subject to the powdered meals that we'll soon be having, the rations that'll be distributed amongst us. Soon enough, that'll be the case. But the way we'll celebrate then is how the people in Chicago celebrated this year. I mean, there might have been more. Who knows? There might have been more of that. I mean, people die every day, so there was obviously some deaths on the 4th of July. That sucks. There were some births as well. But a mass shooting has got to be, and they had this video. It was these people running for their lives. It was in Chicago, obviously, during the parade. These people just running for their lives, and in the background, they had the beautiful Chicago skyline, more or less. It was a great angle. Very, very good angle. It was very Spielberg-esque. Very much like a movie. Very well done. And these people were just running in droves, mobs just running. Oh God, oh no. Just people screaming and gunshots going off in the background. And it's like the sky is just getting dark, but there's still a little bit of light, right? Maybe 9 o'clock, 9:30. And the fireworks just boom, boom, boom. It was beautiful. It was like Disney. Just like I was saying last time, Disney spends so much money on their fireworks. Chicago spends so much money on their fireworks, but also on the theatrics of the parade. Now, that's a 4th of July parade. Now, I come from Rhode Island. Those of you that listen to the show know that. Those of you that are listening right now, some of you may know that I come from Rhode Island, that I've resided there most of my life up until now, where I moved to the beautiful New London. But we have the oldest parade in the country. The oldest 4th of July parade in the country. It takes place in Bristol, Rhode Island. A lot of people don't know that. Bristol, Rhode Island, the oldest 4th of July parade in the country. I don't know when it started, but it's old as fuck. And I want to know, when are the people of Rhode Island going to say, hey, I think it's time we spice this shit up. Look what these other places are doing for their 4th of July. Chicago's got the right idea. They see the future of the 4th of July. Because, as you guys know, we're living in a time in America, where people don't trust the media. They don't trust the politicians. And this has been brewing, right? This has been brewing for a while. People have been able to look behind the curtain. There was a time when the media was trusted, the politicians were trusted because everyone believed that they worked for us. It was way before my time. Way before my time. I'm not saying that this country was always perfect. It was built on, good ideas, but by fucked up people, right? Put it that way. Good ideas by fucked up people. And it was a means to an end, right? End being not the end of civilization, but the end being us being a monstrous corporate superpower in the whole fucking world. We got all the money, we got all the this and that, whatever. That's like the end that needed to be reached through awful, awful things like systemic racism and marginalizing people and that sort of thing, dictating what rights are, whatever, right? But there was a point, as far as I know, that people believed in the government. People believed in, medical news, and people believed in the strength of the economy. People believed that politicians were out to help us. I think maybe I'm exaggerating, because the people I'm talking to probably never realized a time like that. Really, I mean, as far as I know, JFK was one of the last guys to stand out against this shit. Really and then they shot that motherfucker. So everyone's like Let's just roll with the tide, like Alabama says. Let's just roll with everything. We'll be fine. We'll be good. Turn the AC up, guys. We are capable of turning the AC up in this country more so than any country ever. Every other country just hits their hardship and they're like, fuck, looks like we're fucked. We are great at dragging it out, just making it a little better, a little bit better. Turn the AC up, another notch. It's getting warmer. Just turn the AC up. We're good. But I forgot. Oh, yeah. So the future of 4th of July. Right now, like I said, we are living in a time where nobody trusts any of the people in power. Nobody trusts any of the mainstream media outlets. There's so much information. Nobody knows what's true. Truth is something that is like an abstract idea to us. Nobody knows where to find it. Nobody is even expecting it. People in this country are very disappointed with the turn that we've taken as a people, as a group, all that stuff. Everybody is upset. Most people. Not the old people. The old people still, they're fine. They're going to check out, just like us. Just like when we're old. When we're old, we're going to say, wow, what a terrible time. Things could be even worse if we even get to be old. If we even get to be old and be able to complain about the young people and all this shit. But once you're 70 years old, you're like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? I had this bit where I would talk about, old people who care still. Like, why? You're almost checked out of this motherfucker. What do you care? You are ancient. There's nothing that you could do. You're not going to shift our thinking. Nobody is going to think, you're old. You're old. Old people get a bad rap in this fucking country because they're usually upset. Old people are usually, not always, some of them are super nice. Some of them who made the right moves in their lives, but some of them, they get to an age, and we're going to be like this, they get to an age where they've worked their entire lives, and they still can barely live. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. They get to a point where they can't live, so they're fucking miserable, and they hang out at casinos all day, and they got to see my ugly mug trying to offer them coffees and waters, and I got to stand there while they pull out $1 and give it to me, and like they're giving me, like they're giving me a check for $3,000 or something. Like it's that's what, and then I get to come home and scream about it into a microphone for you guys. So you see the circle? You see the circle, guys? That's what it is. This is the circle of life. One day, us young people are going to be sitting at a underground dystopian radioactive casino, and we'll be betting not money that we know, not even crypto either, because the whole economic system is just going to disappear, right? It'll disappear just how it came. Thin air, right? In thin air. All these guys made up these rules about the economy and the system and the market and all this shit. They just made it up. They said, here's a good idea. This is how we can get people to pump money in. We can build our country. We can get a big GDP. Everyone will want to invest with us. We revolutionized money. We figured it out. So it'll go just as it came, as a thought. Just as it came, just a thought. Interest rates, inflation, charts, economics, this is up, this is down. It's all nothing. It's nothing, guys. It really is. If you think about it, it's literally people who came up with ideas. People who came up with ideas who wanted to be able to produce things and make money for themselves. That's why we have a free enterprise. That's one of the reasons why this country is great. Because I can come on here and I can talk shit and eventually make money off of it. That's what it is. I'm really not so different from a politician, right? I just have nobody to cater to. I cater to you guys. You guys want to hear me say funny shit, or you don't. Or you don't. You guys turn me on and say, Jesus, this guy's an animal, fuck this guy, and shut it off. And you wait for me to talk about, something motivational or something lighthearted. But really, all I am is I'm on here talking shit, making false promises, making, false predictions. Well, I don't know if they'll be false, but I'm making predictions, right? Making, really putting the veil up that I'm working for you guys, but really I'm doing this all for me. There's not that much difference between politicians and podcasters. They use their voice, they use their speech to get places, to do whatever they want to do. I just have way less power. Way less power. And but what's better about this is that I make no money. But I have no one to answer to, no one to cater to, the whole thing. Whereas politicians, they technically have to cater to us, which they've thrown out, right? They don't want to do that. They're not going to do that, right? They're like, I'm good. I'm good. Give me some more inside trading tips. Give me some more of that. Give me some more of that so I can, split it with my criminal buddies on Wall Street, and I can, give some to my drug addict son who's been bleeding me dry ever since I got him into Columbia University. I don't know when he'll, same thing that my daughter did. They have degrees. My son's going to have a degree in neuroscience somehow, probably doing experiments on himself with all the drugs he does. But I got to help him. And I got to buy my wife a new car so that she can go fuck the Republican candidate this year. And fuck him all up because she's got gonorrhea. So he'll be in bad shape, Gonorrhea, is that one of the... No, syphilis. Syphilis is the one that'll kill you. I'm going to have to get her syphilis because that guy, he might win, and we can't have that. But like I was saying, the future of the 4th of July, as it stands now, I mean, eventually people are going to stop celebrating. People are going to stop celebrating. Like, I don't know what they do in other countries for their... do countries that have awful trajectories or fucked up pasts, does China have a Chinese Independence Day? Or do they have a day where they celebrate? I would think they do. I would think these countries do. And I mean, China's so old. That tradition is even more drawn out. Or Russia, right? Some of these other countries. Some of these countries that, they do fucked up shit still. Totalitarian governments and all these things. Do they celebrate? Do they celebrate? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, but, we're so used to a certain standard of living here. I say it all the time. If we can't get 6 different flavors of Doritos whenever the fuck we want, I mean, people are going to start... You want to see mass shootings. I mean, wait until a woman who's at the end of her week, right? The last thing she's got to do is go grocery shopping after work, and, she works in an office. She's a secretary. She's got to deal with patients, right? She works in a podiatrist's office. She's got to work with old people saying, I got 6 bunions on my left big toe. Is Dr. Johnson going to be in any earlier? I got to go to my son-in-law's house. My son-in-law is going to come over, and he's going to cut my grass. And I got to be there to let him in. I got here a little early today, even though I know my appointment's at 11:30. It's 8 o'clock now. I know you guys just unlocked the door. Do you think you could... And she's dealing with that all day. Sometimes she's got to stay a little later because, she either gets that person or she gets the people that are late. Their appointment's in 5 minutes and the person shows up then. She thinks they're not going to show up and they show up and she's got to stay. And she does that all week. She works maybe 50 hours a week. She's got to come home. She's got to see her kids. She's got to see her family. And she does it. But this Friday, she gets out. She says, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to a DiGiorno's croissant crust pizza. I haven't had one of those. I remember a few months ago I got one of those, and it was really good. And I'm going to treat myself to that. And the kids, I'll get something for the kids. My husband, he's going out with the boys. I can have Carla come over. We can drink a little wine and watch The Bachelor. Right? We can hang out. This will be great. We can talk. And this is going to be a good night. And she goes to the frozen section, and she sees that all there is the thin crust DiGiorno, the fast-rising DiGiorno, and the original. There's no croissant crust DiGiorno for this lady who has literally all week has been looking forward to this. She has had a tough week. She just wants to have that pizza. She wants to eat that pizza with her friend Carla and Stacy. They're going to bring over a bottle of White Zinfandel, and they're going to sit there, and they're going to watch some bullshit on the television, and they're just going to talk and relax. The kids are going to be beating each other up and killing themselves in the basement. She doesn't want to know nothing. This is the end of her week. She wants to, and all she wants is that pizza. And she goes and she sees that it's not there. That lady, plus all the other people who fall into that exact same category, and there's a lot of them. You guys know that there's some of you are them. I'm one of them. After I've had a long week, a week that has been tough or whatever, sometimes you just want to gorge. You want to eat something that you shouldn't eat. Or something that you like. You just want to get something that you like. Even if it's something terrible. I haven't had a Whopper. Let's go get a Whopper. Fuck it. Sounds good to me. And you pull up and sorry, we're out of Whoppers. This Burger King is fucked. All you can get is chicken, whatever. That woman is going to rain hell on that Stop and Shop. She's gonna make what happened in Buffalo look like Thomas the Tank Engine episode. She is going to just start guerrillaing her way through she'll do it with her bare hands too. She'll do it with her bare hands. She will start beating people to death with a frozen can of limeade. Remember those cans of juice that you would get? The cans, they were frozen, and then you let them, and then you crank it open. Real cheap stuff, but it was great. She is going to grab one of those and just start braining people. Just start fucking. The people are going to come in. The police officers are going to tase her, going to shoot her with rubber bullets, pepper spray her, mace her. They're going to have to kill this woman, which they won't do because they're sissies. They are going to have to kill this lady because she is just barehandedly ripping people limb from limb until like Genghis Khan through a city, through a town that him and all his, but she's doing it alone. She will have taken out everybody that hasn't run out of that Stop and Shop, screaming at the top of her lungs, I want my DiGiorno's croissant crust. Ah! There might even be a couple patients that she saw that week. And those ones are the sorry ones because she is going to slaughter them worse than anybody else. She is going to take them out. And she's just walking through. She's like Jason. They're shooting her they got cattle prods on this bitch. And she's not going down. She's like that thing in 300. Remember the movie 300? Where they had this big, grotesque fucking ogre that they chained up and they'd let him go and he'd run amok through everybody. And one guy stabs him in the eye. That's the only way he dies. That's what you're going to have to do to this woman. You're going to have to hop on the... Hell hath no fury like a hungry mother of three with a stupid-ass husband at home who is also waiting on some food. Hell hath no fury like that woman who, works in an office with a bunch of other women just like her who have to bow their heads and their knees to some asshole douchebag fucking doctor that comes in and rubs the small of their back, even though he knows that they're married and he knows that this is, illegal realistically, but the woman can't leave because they need the job. And, all they want is to have something to munch on at the end of the day, something that they shouldn't have, but they know it's like, I worked all week. I just want to have a glass of wine. I want to put a pizza in the oven, call the girls over, and that's it. That's all I want to do. And that woman can't? Oh, God. Forget it. I mean, you think it's bad now. I'm saying, wait until you can't get everything you want. Wait until a 16-year-old goes to a GameStop or goes to a Zoomies or someplace and they can't get exactly what they thought they wanted. I mean, it's game over. There's going to be, just terrible in the streets, which leads me to believe that the 4th of July one day will be nothing. The 4th of July when people see that they go to the store and they can't get cheese-filled bratwursts, I mean, people are just going to explode. They're going to explode, guys. And if you guys don't believe me, then, I mean, just ask, just do an experiment, right? If there's someone in your family that I just described to you, maybe it's your mother, maybe it's your aunt, doesn't need to be a woman, maybe it's your dad, uncle, brother, somebody whose life is so just kind of mundane and downtrodden. They're happy, though. They're mostly happy. They're mostly happy because we do have these freedoms. We can watch anything we want on television. We can eat whatever we want, drink whatever we want, wear whatever we want, do essentially whatever we want. Find them after a hard week of work. Find them after they've been toiling at whatever task that they've been burdened with because they have to take care of your ass or your cousin or themselves. They have to take care of themselves one way or another. Take away the thing that they really enjoy, right? The simple thing. If it's your uncle who likes to have a six-pack at the end of the week, that's all he does. He doesn't do anything else. He's a great guy to his family. He very rarely flashes out. He doesn't love his job, but he works it. He works it because he's a man. He's a man and he wants to do what's right for his family. He has values. He has standards. And at the end of the week, all he wants is his six-pack of Budweiser. That's all he wants. He wants to drink that, maybe start his bonfire, and then that's it. The day after that, no drinking, no nothing. He hangs out with his kids. Maybe he gets a little buzzed, right? He gets a little buzzed, maybe another Bud Light, but, he's very mild with it. Take that away from him. Go to his house and dump out all that Budweiser, right? You don't even need to do it in front of him. Just take it and watch what happens. Watch what happens to that guy. The nicest man in the world, Uncle Jeff. Wow, it's Uncle Jeff. Look, we love him. Uncle Jeff is one of the great. We wait for, because he always brings the best desserts to the party, right? He always shows up with a turtle cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. And everyone, he spares no expense. He's a great guy. All he wants is that six-pack of Budweiser at the end of the week. That's all he wants. You take that away from him, that man will turn into Putin. He'll turn into Putin's sidekick. He'll turn into me. He'll rip his own face off. Because that's the only thing that's holding them together, guys. A lot of the people in this country, the only thing that holds them together is knowing that there's something. There's just a little something that just keeps the glue together. For some people, it's a substance. For some people, it's a food. It's going out, right? It's an act. You can go out to a club. You can have a good time. I mean, I know it's ancient news, but remember COVID, the quarantine. People were going nuts. You're taking away my ability to go watch a game? I can't go to a bar with my buddies and eat nachos and fart and drink Miller Lights all night and embarrass ourselves and watch a football game? Come on. People went crazy. People killed themselves. People got fatter, or they got skinnier. They were unhealthy. People went crazy. Little things, just little things that we're so used to. God forbid there's not a pandemic and those things are taken away from us. Tough, guys. Very tough. Tougher than you think. It's tougher than you think. I mean, take away. For me, I love smoking weed. Sorry. I love smoking weed. And I know a lot of you guys do like doing it as well. It's lovely. That is my thing. Right? I just want to smoke a little weed at the end of the day. And if I don't have weed, if I ain't got the money to pay for it, or if I ain't got the money to pick up weed, or whatever the case is, I mean, it's upsetting. It's a standard of living that we all have upheld for a while. And we're getting to a point where we're realizing that it might not be very sustainable, guys. I mean, I don't know when did the Industrial Revolution happen. My timeline with all that. So let's say it's in the 1800s, which I think it is, right? Let's just say, for sake of argument, 1822, because it's 2022 now. So 1822, 1922, 100 years. 2002, 200 years, right? No, now we're at 200 years. Haha, I'm a dumb son of a bitch. Sorry about that little mishap there. But 2022, we're at 200 years. 200 years of excess, of getting whatever you want, essentially. Now, I get it. Those first 100 years, a little different, right? But relatively, because compare the 100 years before that. 1722, America wasn't even around. 1722 to 1822, it was a lot different, right? It was more country, farming, the whole thing. Now, the Industrial Revolution, 1822, again, just making up numbers. The real shit is probably somewhere, some other point in time. 1822 to 1922, I mean, excess is now being achieved. We have industry, we have machines, we can create things, it's not all manpower now. And then 1922 to 2022, I mean, my God, it is just light years ahead. Now, I want to look this up just because I feel like I'm making up numbers. When did the Industrial Revolution... Wow, so I was totally wrong. I was absolutely fucking wrong. Ha! 1760 to 1840. All right. So even then, right, that's almost 100 years. That's almost 100 years of the... So even if you went from 1760 to 1860, life's completely different. Life is completely different. You know, I mean, that had to be the beginning of excess. Once industry rose, once people realized that they could go ahead and just make things way easier. You can make 300 blankets. Imagine trying to make 300 blankets. You can make even if it took a week to make 300 blankets in those days with the Industrial Revolution. Before that, 300 blankets and I mean, good luck. Good luck. No matter how big they had big families. You could have 12 people in your family. 300 blankets, I mean, that's nuts. Now, you could, things were powered by water and steam and all this shit. Things were different. Now, there's a point of excess. Right? The Industrial Revolution, 1760 to 1840. So 1840 to 1940. Right? I mean, come on. What a difference. What a difference. And then after 1940, World War II, right? When did that end? 45 or something? Now the war's over. Yeah. Let's have a good time. Good time, good time, good time. Forever and ever and ever. That's what we thought. Right? And now we're starting to see that it is tough. It's got to be tough, man. How are you going to be able to sustain that kind of output? It's like a fighter, guys. It's like a fighter. You watch a fighter. Adesanya fought this past weekend. He looked great. Fuck what everyone says. It was a little boring. I was watching it. I'm like, this is a little boring. He even said he had an off night, whatever. But he did great. He's masterclassing motherfuckers like Floyd Mayweather. People can't touch him. So you can't hate on him for that. But it's like a fighter, guys. If there's someone that's punching and kicking and punching and takedowns and punching and trying and you better hope you have a gas tank for that, brother. You better hope that you can just keep putting that up, because if not, you're going to get murdered. You're going to get killed in there if you're tired, right? That's the scariest feeling. It's happened to me. I've gotten in there and I've gotten exhausted and, I'm tired already, and then I'm getting hit in the body. That's insult to injury, brother. That's just bad. You don't want to get caught tired in a fight. That's a terrible fear. That's just bad. But it's the same thing. I mean, we have been putting stuff out. I mean, for decades. Just what's the word I'm looking for? Inventing things and mass producing things, cars and food and clothes and accessories and toys and electronics and gadgets and these things have just gotten more and more specific as time went on. They probably started off, okay, here's a can opener. Can opener, this can open your cans. All right? Cool. And then as time went on, now we have 15 different kinds of can openers made by 15 different companies. Some companies make different kinds of can openers. They have 3 or 4 different models. Who would have thought you would need a model for something as simple as a fucking can opener? But they exist. You could go online and get high-end versions of anything. Anything you want. You can get a high-end version of a coat hanger if you wanted. You know? You could get a high-end version of those little discs that you put under your furniture. Not, you know, the legs on a couch. You don't want it to scratch your hardwood floors. You put those little rubber. You could get a high-end version of those. I mean, isn't it absurd? We live in a time of so much choice, so much information, and so much choice, and we, you know, it's causing people to. Like I said, it's causing people to, we don't know what side is up, which side is down. We don't know what the fuck's going on anymore, which is why people have no faith in anything. We are my generation is some of the most cynical motherfuckers that have ever walked the planet. I would think, right? Because we have, not because things are bad, because things have been far worse than this. But it's because things are bad and we live in excess. We live without a worry. We think everything will be this way. Think about it. People are going crazy. People are going crazy over gas prices. We thought forever and ever and ever gas prices were going to be at a decent level, right? Wow, gas is cheap. Fill up my tank, $40. This is awesome. Now it's double that. Fill up my tank, it's almost $80, right? And I drive a piece of shit fucking Chevy Impala. You know, I don't drive anything that's expensive. It doesn't take premium gas. I use regular gas. And, you know, we're so cynical. The world is ending, all this shit because terrible stuff is happening. But we're kind of in ow, sorry. Fucking my back up here. Let me crack it. Oh, that don't feel good. Let me lean back, rock away. But we're like if the world is burning, we're in a flame retardant house right now. We're in a flame retardant house until the flames get high enough and hot enough to really fuck us up. So we're kind of just looking out the window like, what? This is bad. This is kind of bad. This is bad. I mean, this is, you know, people women can't, we're still going back and forth about abortions, and people are killing each other in the street, and, you know, the glue that holds people together is just knowing that they can buy a television whenever they want, or, you know, and once that goes away, I mean, we're done, right? I would assume that other countries have a standard of living that they're used to as well. Maybe in excess, right? Maybe. But I feel like we're just the most spoiled. I can't help but feel that. I can't help but feel like we are as spoiled as anyone. You know, I mean, there's other countries that haven't figured out better than us in certain aspects, right? I mean, we have all the money. We have the entertainment industry. The culture, the United States culture is probably the strongest in the world. I mean, we have, every country knows about us. Every country can refer to us. There's countries that you would never think about that they watch the Super Bowl. My cousins, I talk about it on here. They used to talk about how they love the Super Bowl and the World Series and KFC and the movies. There's no movies like in America, right? We have the best entertainment when it comes to on-screen stuff. Music, I mean, we have a pretty booming music industry, but that's kind of a little more recent, because what I'm thinking about is, you know, like when there was the English takeover when it came to rock music. But again, we've always had a phenomenal entertainment industry all the way through. No one wants to do movies in other countries. No one wants to perform music. No one wants to get their start in other countries, even if you have success. But the money's here, guys. The money is over here. We got the money part figured out. We got the freedoms mostly figured out. But it's obviously strange, right? It's a very fine line that we towed. And that's what another fun thing that happened on the 4th of July, guys. I mean, this is a very fun tradition. This is a tradition that I forget about every year, but I get a notification on my phone one way or another, or it's on social media or something, where this is an event that is as American as it gets. The Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Joey Chestnut won his 15th consecutive title, eating 63 hot dogs in like 10 minutes or something. I mean, does it get any better than that on the 4th of July? I mean, that is the perfect time to pick to have that event happen, the 4th of July. I mean, most people aren't watching things on the 4th of July. Most people are just, they're getting drunk somewhere, they're hanging out, they're on a boat, they're in the water, they're at a party, they're doing something on the beach. They're doing something that doesn't involve sitting down in front of a television, which is strange because that's what we love to do. Naturally, right? Sitting down, eating, watching but a lot of the times people aren't. People are outside, they're having a good time because the weather's nice. Like I said, I love the 4th of July. But Joey Chestnut running amok in that. I mean, that guy, I was sitting next to Rob Altamari, who's been on the show a bunch of times. I was sitting next to him on the beach, drunk, you know, in a haze of chemicals between my cigars that I was smoking and the weed and the mushrooms and the drink and the sun, right? And the water and everything just affecting. We're just sitting next to each other, and I get a notification on my phone that says, Joey Chestnut wins his 15th consecutive Nathan's hot dog eating contest. He ate 63 hot dogs in 10 minutes. And I look at him and he goes, Joey Chestnut is better at eating hot dogs than anybody is at anything. And I think he's right. I mean, I think that he gets, if we're talking about sports here, right? And I think, you guys know me, all sports to me, aside from combat sports, are, you know, more or less I could take or leave, right? I like watching certain things. I've really gotten into watching obscure, like, I don't know, I'm kind of into racing now. Like, I watch the Tour de France because I like biking. You know, I like the Indianapolis 500 for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. All these, it's probably from working where I work. But it's that competitive eating is a sport that can literally only be done here. We're eating for sport, guys. Do you guys understand that? We eat for sport. We have a competition on our country's birthday dedicated to gorging yourself with as many hot dogs. An American thing, right? I mean, we can say, all right, hot dogs and that type of thing came from Germany, right? Frankfurters, right? We get it, okay? But we perfected it. It's just like the Italians. They stole the noodles from China, right? Noodles started, but we perfected the motherfucker, okay? The Italians figure that shit out just like the Americans did. There is no better marketing than an event like that. It's just like any other holiday, guys. It's just like any other money grab, capitalist fucking event that they can slap a logo on. Nathan's, Bow. You know how much coverage that gets? How long has that contest even been going on? How long has that event even been going on? Next time, we should hold the Nathan's hot dog eating contest in, like, Zimbabwe. You know, right? In a remote village in Zimbabwe. We set everything up. We bring out all this thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment. We fly a whole crowd out there. It's a whole experience. And behind them, there's, you know, just a beautiful landscape, right? A beautiful grassland. You might see an animal walk through while these guys are just gorging. And it's a huge setup. And there's people in these villages that are just as destitute as it comes. And, you know, we give them hot dogs. Fuck it. Here's some hot dogs, guys. Eat up. And another thing we'll do is we'll get them all sick. We'll get them all sick because we're from another country and they don't have over there in Zimbabwe, they don't have the same medical technology that we have. They don't have the same genes. It's just like when, Columbus came here and killed everybody with the smallpox and the whole thing, right? It'll be the same thing, except we will bring Nathan's hot dogs and our famed competition to a place where there's no food. We're going to help them, though. We're going to help them in that one village and put on a spectacle. And people will still afterwards say, we're not going to that fucking place. But look at Joey Chestnut. Joey Chestnut, he just won his 16th annual, this will be next year, his 16th consecutive hot dog eating contest. And he did it in front of a bunch of destitute, hungry, third world people. I think that'll be, and it'll be during the American, it'll be during the 4th of July. It'll be right during Independence, just like we do it every year. It'll just be abroad, right? It'll be somewhere else. It'll be a new experience, guys. We can eat it right in front of the people whose ribs have been showing for months, and it hasn't rained, and they have very, very primitive water purifying methods, and they can barely have a sip of water without the threat of malaria or the threat of a bowel disintegrating disease entering their system. We can bring an event like this to them to show them that there's more out there. There's more. Save up your Zimbabwean coins or whatever the currency is out there. Save that up, guys, and get a flight over to the great U.S. of A. The beautiful country where you can eat hot dogs. People eat for sport. You guys can't even eat. You want to stay here? Come on. Come here. Get a job. Get a job with us. Drive a truck. Drive a garbage truck in New London, Connecticut. Come on down. Then you can eat hot dogs till your fucking heart explodes. You give them a little taste. This is what we need to do, guys. This is how we'll build America back up. This is how we'll get to do it. I'm telling you, we got to start marketing to these other pockets of the world and get them over. Get them on over. Get them over here. They need to work. This is the country of immigration. Legal immigrate. Well, the illegal ones we don't really like, right? Those are the ones we complain about. But if it's all done the right way, welcome. Things need to be built. Roads need to be cleared. Sandwiches need to be made for people. And dishes need to be washed, right? Come on over. Let's make it happen. Let's go to these destitute countries and put on competitive eating competitions. I think that'll be good. But another thing that happened during that event, a guy came on and tried to protest. He tried to protest a company, Smithfield Death Star, it was called. And I guess they were referring to, everyone's saying that they're referring to a company, Smithfield's Meat or whatever the fuck it is in some, where is it, Virginia or something, that it exists. Guy went on there and he wanted to protest it. And Jerry Chestnut, with a mouthful of hot dogs, he was at like 16 or 17, headlocked that motherfucker. That should be extra points. I mean, fighting with food in your mouth, that could be its own pastime. That could be its own competition. I mean, living in the country we do, I'm surprised that competitive eating is big, but it's not bigger than, tennis. Like tennis is a sport that's it's a good sport, but people don't really pay attention to it, right? For the most part. But more people pay attention to tennis than they do competitive eating. More people try to be tennis players. I don't think there's competitive eating clubs or teams in high schools or in colleges, and that's a problem. That's a problem because we only have, like I said, guys, we only have so much time with all this food and all this excess. We only have so much time. We might as well speed it up by having droves of kids just in schools, just getting bigger and eating up more and more of our resources. We might as well speed up the process, guys. Speed up the process. But Smithfield's meat company or whatever, I guess they do, fucked up things to animals and whatever. And this guy thought that this was a good time to protest it. And it probably was. It got me to question what it was, and I looked it up. But, let's give it up for a true American hero. A guy that knows where his market is, and he knows how to attack it. Joey Chestnut. Let's have a toast for him. I got my coffee up in the air. Let's have a toast. Clink. Joey Chestnut, 2024. Bring him in. Oh, man, guys, I am having a blast. I'm having a blast with the new way that the new turn that this show is going. I really am. It's a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I do miss the guests from time to time. I miss the old studio, but I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of ideas for the new setup for the show. I have, I like the format now. And hey, man, there's a possibility that when I move to New York, I have a co-host. I'm just kind of alluding to that. But it would be cool. It would be cool. I'm in talks with somebody that you all know, somebody that's been on the show before. But I'm excited for where the show is going to go. I think this is a good. I like doing. I've come to enjoy doing it this way, and it would be nice to just have somebody to play off of. Just a host to be here and play off of, and I'll be able to. I also want to invest a little bit more in the show. I think I spoke about this already. I want to invest a little bit more in the show. I want to get a better camera, at least one, right? Because again, it is only me. I don't need both the cameras. I would like to put a little bit more change into it. I don't have a ton of money, but which is why I'm all in with this motherfucker. I'm all in. There's no plan B, guys. There's very little room for a plan B. My plan B is to, become a fireman or something. If at a certain age I'm like, and then I'll just pick something. Fuck it. I'll learn a trade. I'll do something. But until then, comedy, podcast, me fucking around, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And that's the problem when I see my family sometimes. They're like, well, we want you to do this, and we want, you should do that. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. And that happens to a lot of us. Stay true to yourselves, motherfuckers. Stay true to what the fuck you want to do. You're already all in. I'm not a huge Jordan Peterson fan. He's an interesting guy. He's smart. He says some good things from time to time. But he said something that it's like, you're all in. That's the thing about life. It's going to kill you. You're going to die. Your maggot food ass is going back to her anyway. Eddie Griffin. I love that. Your maggot food ass is going back to her anyway. Mother Earth. That's where we came from, motherfucker. We're going right back to her. So you're all in, guys. This is going to kill you. This is going to kill you. No one makes it out alive. This is it. So fuck around if you want. Fuck around and find out. But it's always the same ending. It's always the same ending. It's over, right? And there could be something after this. Sometimes I like to pretend that there isn't, but there could be, right? I don't know. I don't know the fucking answer. But there could be, guys. And for me, living my best life, or living the way that I want to live, is very important, right? Now, do I want to struggle forever? No. I'm not making money. I'm 25 though. Like I have a high tolerance for this shit, right? I have a high tolerance for this shit. I have a high time horizon, but I don't want to be in a position of struggle my entire life. There was this comic, Frankie Vaughn, who lives in California, and he's an older man. He's like 50, and he lives in a van. And he comes up to me. He says, "Man, you're funny. You're really funny. You have a great voice. You should do this. You should do that. Get an agent, do all this stuff." I'm like, whoa. I've only been doing comedy consistently. And this was before. This was like 6 months in. And he's like, I'm like, relax. I don't have any money for it. He's like, invest in it, buy into it, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, cool. And he goes, but listen, living in a van at 25 is okay. But at 50, It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. And he seemed like a happy guy. He was a funny guy. He's not very much of a comedian, but he's an actor. That's mostly his thing. And he's like, living in a van sucks at 50. But at 25, fuck it. Eat shit. Eat shit for a while. Do what you got to do. And that's where I'm at, guys. You're going to eat shit early on, regardless, I talk about all my friends, and they're all doing, most of them are doing very well for themselves. They're all doing great, doing better than I am. But relatively in life, they're going to be doing way better later on, just as I am. We're all going to be doing way better, unless, something happens and we throw away any prowess that we had, any possibility of success, then you're fucked up, right? You're fucked up. That's and you hope you can get your way out of it. But relatively, the best things in life come a little later on, aside from, your physical appearance and, you're in your best shape when you're in your 20s and you look the best. You have the least amount of wrinkles. You have most of your hair, unless you're me. But it's... when I read Think and Grow Rich, he makes a point in that book where it's like people give up later on in their life, and they don't realize that that's some of the most prosperous times of your life. When you're 50, and midway through, that's where you've made the most of yourself for a lot of people. We all just want to do it when we're young so we could fuck around and whatever, but you're going to fuck around anyway when you're young, whether you have money or not. So... that's what it is, motherfuckers. I hope you have a great Thursday. I hope you had a great 4th of July. The next holiday coming is what? What is it, Labor Day? Is that what it is? That's the next holiday? So, is that what it is? Labor Day in September? I think it is. Because Memorial Day is May. Who knows? Who gives a fuck? They're all just, traditions and old holidays and whatever. Like Doug Stanhope said, it's dead people's baggage. Stop carrying it. But anyway, guys, thanks for playing along. Thanks for listening on this Thursday. Dates, again, Stand Up New York, 10 o'clock show at July 15th. So what is it, next week or the week after? I can't read it. Yeah, the week after. Week after this Friday. So 2 weeks from Friday, I'll be there. August 3rd. I always forget the day, but I think I'm going to be doing Broadway Comedy Club if this guy didn't forget about me. The 6th, August 6th, the first week of August, the first weekend of August, I'll be at the Broadway Comedy Club, hopefully. And then the 25th to the 28th, I've been saying the wrong dates, but the 25th to the 28th is the Portland, Maine Comedy Festival. I will be there as well. I'll be doing 2 shows, hopefully meeting people, hopefully networking, doing the whole 9, getting the podcast out there, documenting the whole thing with my man Raph, who hasn't been on the show in a while, but he's been on 3 times, I think. So that's it, motherfuckers. That's what's on the horizon. Keep fucking around, keep playing along, and most importantly, God bless America. Thank you. Talk to you next week. Peace. Hey, I'm back to reiterate all the stuff that I said at the top of the show. Follow and subscribe. Bye-bye.